All right, y'all. Today we're gonna talk about you can start foreclosure. You could go back even a year or 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year when your house got foreclosed on and you got kicked out of your house by the bank or by the lender. You could go back, repossession of car, machinery, truck, trailer, wherever, student loan. You could stop it and you could go back and recoup it. You don't have to rescind your contract. All you gotta say you are what? An investor. You are a what? Third party beneficiary. You are a third party beneficiary to the these loans, these credit cards you sign. But before I go into it, I'm gonna show y'all something. And I'm gonna play a special video for you so y'all can see. I'm gonna play a special video. But right now, I want everybody to look at this and write this down. I want everybody to look at this real quick. Here we go. It's called Real Estate Mortgage Investment Trust. It's called REMIT. It's called Financial Asset uh, Securitization Investment Trust. It's faster. It's called Special Perfect Entity. It's called Special Perfect Vehicle. Well, both of them really the same. The SPE and the SPV is really both the same. Most times, these type of loan is like receivable account, business account, or a loan account, whatever you want to call it. See right here, this right here called real estate investment trust. This right here called bankruptcy remote entity. I want y'all to look at this and write this down. I'm gonna give you about a couple seconds. I want you to write this down. Look at this real quick. I want you to write this down. Because we're going to go back and look at that after this video been played. Now, here we go. Now, I'm going to say this right here. Here we go. I'm going to show you something right here. It said real estate. Here we go. The Real Estate Mortgage Investment Trust, right? Remember, the Financial Assets Investment Trust, the Special Purpose Entity, that is SPE. It's also called Special Purpose Vehicle. They both the same. It's called SPV. And it's real estate investment trust. It's called REIT, like REIT. It's called bankruptcy remote entity. It's called BRE. Some of y'all never heard that. Boy, I want y'all to write this down because you're going to start understand what it is. I want you to look this up. This way your remedy going to be at right here. It's all investment. Remember that I said that? Right here. It's all a investment. And you are an investor and a third party beneficiary. This right here, this where your loan, your credit card, everything that you bought, payday, whatever. All this right here. You are a third party beneficiary to this right here. You are a investor. I want you to think of that. You do not want to rescind the contract. People tell you Title 15 to rescind your signature. No, you don't want to do that. I'm going to tell you why you don't want to do that. They default. I'm going to show you something. Here we go. Right here. Let's look at this real quick. What all type of bank lending financial institution all fall under this system, which called what? REMIT, FACET, SPE, SPV, RIT, BRE, right? Remember that what I told you, right? Could it be all type of credit union, all type of community bank, all type of city bank, all type of county bank, all type of trust bank, all type of state bank, all type of regional bank, all type of big commercial bank, all type of U.S. national bank, all type of payday lending institution, all type of credit card. That's right, from a cheap credit card to a black card, a platinum card, whatever you want to call it. All type of funding institution, all type of alternative lending institution, all type of mortgage lending institution, and all student loan and all bail bond. That's right, all bail bond lending institution. You know what I'm saying? They're all the same. And when they lend out money, aka loan to you or business, they are required by law to file tax, but not you. You must. Here you go. And they must notify you of a transfer taking place. So in other words, they never file tax after 90 days. They never notify you when they transfer these things, like Class A, Class B sales, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They never transfer it to you. All right, here we go. Here we go, right here. That goes right here. Say all of these you see up here are what they use to lend out loans to people and business. From to payday loan, that's right, these so-called payday loans, 24 hours lending loan. Guess what? They all they all the same, no matter what, whether big, small, paid out. Personal loan, student loan, auto loan, to semi truck and trailer loan. That's right. You know, you got a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? Not the lease purchase, but any truck driver that got a loan to purchase a truck or trailer. Guess what? Guess what? You can easily stop that and get your money back. And guess what? You can do a write off for this. Here we go. To credit card, to credit line. You know, like credit line, loan, to commercial loan, and all type of home loan, to bail bond, to investment loan, to capital loan, like capital venture loan. You know what I'm saying? Startup projects, stuff like that. The venture loan, the receivable loan, the merchant receivable loan, the farm loan, the to machinery loan, to construction loan, to seasonal loan, to real estate loan, from all type of small to high end mega business loan ranging from $1,000 to $1 billion in loan. Last last your court case or loan from small claim court to federal court, aka your state court to your traffic court, your coast court, all these are the same. You know what I'm saying? AK all type of courtroom case. It does, it don't make no difference, okay? Don't make no difference. I'm gonna explain to you. Well, I'm going right here real quick. I'm just gonna do like a 30-minute, maybe 40-minute video, something like that, but I ain't gonna go too long. But it's like this. I know how to do the affidavit and send it out to the credit card, to the bank, to the lender, and right here, you do not want to rescind your contract. What you want to do, let them know that the loan was in default. The day you sign that thing, after 90 days, that loan went into default. If they tell you that, hey, you missed a payment, that's a code word. The loan went into default. If they say they're going to repossess your car, repossess your furniture, or repull any tool that you pay or your Rolex watch, that's a code word is in default by them, not by you. If they say that you owe 4 months of back student loan that you missed, that's a default on them, not you. I know the law. I know this so good. People got kicked out of their house. Let's say you got kicked out of your house 5 years ago, or your car got repossessed 6 months, or a year, or 3 years. You could go back and make them pay. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't want you to say all along a fraud. No, you want to tell them you're a third party to that contract that you signed. You are an investor. You are an investment. All loan applications, all credit card applications, all student loan applications, all along, these are investment instruments. Every state got a law called investment instrument. You need to look that up. This is gonna be part one right here. I'm gonna do part one, part two, part three, part four. I'm gonna break it down, but this is what I want everybody to look at. See what I'm saying? Here we go. I want everybody to understand this. Do not rescind the contract. Do not rescind your application. Do not rescind. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you how coactive though. When they talk about they're gonna repossess your car or your car already got repossessed, you can go back and make them pay for that repossession. If your house got foreclosed and they kick you out and you live in an apartment paying rent, you could go back yesterday, 10 years ago, 100 years ago. You could go back. You could go back and make them pay. What you want to tell them, 20 years ago, you was an investor and a third party and you still is. You know what I'm saying? They defaulted. They default on the contract. You did not. So in other words, you want to explain to them that, hey, I have the affidavit showing that you're going to do a recoupment. You want a recoupment. What's a recoupment? All your money that you paid back. And plus you want penalty and liability go with that. But I'm gonna show you something. Here we go. All foreclosure or tax billing to you when you default on tax payment, aka your 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 mortgage payment, something like that. All repossession from auto when you default on tax payment, aka your car loan payment. Semi-equipment and machinery are tax billing you when you default on what? Truck payment, trailer payment, farm equipment payment. These are tax payment, really. They don't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you that. Here we go. All all default on credit card bill or what? Tax billing to you. When you default on what? Tax payment, aka your credit card payment. You know what I'm saying? Your minimal credit card payment, right? In other words, they said that you default. You miss a payment. You know what I'm saying? We know where you don't know, but I know this, and many people know this. This is tax payment you missed. And here we go. All court case. I don't care what. Traffic to the federal. All murder case. I hate to say that, but all murder case is taxed. All robbery, rape, gang banger, whatever you want to call it really tax billing to you when you default on tax payment. That's what it really is. I'm gonna break that down to you in another video. I'm gonna show you how all this works. All bail bond or tax billing to you when you default on your what? Tax payment, your bail bond payment, the real tax payment. All type of mortgage loan or line of credit to the mortgage or tax billing to you when you default on what? Tax payment, your mortgage payment, you know what I'm saying? Your home payment, whatever you want to call it. Here we go. Let's keep going. All commercial or business loan or line of credit for your business or tax billing to you when you default on your tax, your business loan payment, your line of credit, business loan, whatever you paying. Sometimes you might miss it, aka that tax payment, that default tax payment. Remember that they supposed to pay a tax, not you. All right, here we go. All payday loan institutions and all lending institutions, I don't care what it is, big or small, big institution, are tax billing you when you default on tax payment. Again, all payday loan. These little so-called payday loan in our neighborhood, the hood, you know what I'm saying? Set up these little so-called, the $400, $500 loan to you. Guess what? Guess what? It's still the same that they tax billing you. You know what I'm saying? They tax billing you. Again, they tax billing you. Or you go to the lending institution, they give you $2, $3, $4, $5,000, $8,000, $20,000. It's still the same. They tax billing you. All right. Student loan. Well, it's so funny, man. People say they got $80,000, $90,000 debt student loan. It's no matter what. Here you go. All student loan are tax billing. Tax billing you when you default on tax payment. AKA when you miss your student loan, right? It really saying tax payment. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Here you go. All loan payment, aka is really a tax payment. Again, here you go. All loan, no matter what it is, payment. All loan payment that you make, whether it's credit card, car loan, house note, whatever you're doing, receivable, merchant account, they give you funding, like from business, whatever it is, it's really a tax payment. Plus, all security certificate deed. In other words, all these loans that you get, line of credit, whatever you get, receivable account, merchant account, whatever, these things are securitized. Remember this, you cannot have a credit card without the security. You cannot have a student loan without the security certificate. Think of this, the U.S. Treasury, the U.S. Treasury got all they know from $1 all the way up to the $100, the $5, the $2 bill, the $10, $20, the $50. They are security. They are security certificates. Sometimes it's known as the coupon. I mean, coupon bond. That's what it really is. It's really a coupon bond, also known as a what? Security certificate. Every time you pull out that $1, that $5, that $10, that $20, or that $100 out of your pocket, you're really pulling out a security certificate. That's what that really is in your pocket. You know, sometimes you might call it coupon. No different than a grocery coupon, right? Say like Camel Soup got a coupon, right? You take that coupon, that really is a security certificate. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some people call it a security certificate. Sometimes some people call it a coupon. It really, no matter what it is, it both the same. So that's what it is. So the credit card you got is a security certificate. The loan that you got approved for $20,000, $100,000. That really a security certificate. When you got approved for that card by the bank or by the lender, you know the application filled out. It really a security certificate. What is security certificate? I think that's a what we know as an investment instrument. That is an investment instrument. Y'all need to look that up. Investment instrument. Every state law has that. You need to look that up. You need to look up third party too in your state. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go over that. You know what I'm saying? Look, we're gonna go over that, but we ain't gonna go too long in this video. But here we go. And what does it say right here? Say what? Here you go. All of them have pooling and service agreement. That's right. I don't care what contract you sign to get that paper. I don't care what it is. All of them is pooling and service agreement. But anything over $1 million to $1 trillion or more require what? Depository and security agreement. Now, this is where the high end at right here. You know what I'm saying? This is where the high value at. Like commercial, skyscraper, big government project, government contract. You know what I'm saying? Getting $1 million mega house. You know what I'm saying? Now, they might require a depository and security agreement on these part right here. But anything out of million, it's more, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be more than a pooling and service agreement. But anything above the million and up, it's definitely going to be a depository and security agreement straight up. And guess what? Your court case is like that too with the pooling and service agreement and depository and security agreement for high value crime like murder, all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying, for high value crime. But it's the same thing, y'all. Like your bail bond set at $10 million, your bail bond set at 1 million. Guess what? That requires depository and security agreement. But anything below that, it ain't up but a pool of service agreement in that courtroom. All right. Now I want everybody to look at this again. I'm gonna roll it back up a little bit slow so you can look at this. This is what I want you to look at real quick. And look this up. Cause you know when I'm gonna come back through one by one. Look at this real quick. This is what you want to look at right here. Write this down, write this down, write this down. Write this down. Do that, we're going to go into the good stuff. Look at that. Right there. Look at that. 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 I want everybody to look at that. Again, get that. Screenshot, whatever you got to do. You got to screenshot it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to go back one more time. I'm going to give you like, I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Screenshot it. Keep going again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Screenshot it, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Screenshot it. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Screenshot it. There you go. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Screenshot it. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I hope you screenshot it. Now, here we go. Now we're going to get to the good part real quick. See this right here? See this right here? This is where most of your commercial bank like Wells Fargo, Chase, Lending Club, Lending Club, yeah, Prosper Funding, you know what I'm saying? Chase Bank, Chase Auto Home Loan, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your regional bank, state bank, most of them gonna be right here. You know what I'm saying? This is an investment. A lot of people don't realize this. You cannot you cannot have a $1, a $5, a $10. Matter of fact, see everybody talk about Dun Bradstreet, but what if I told you the state of Louisiana is registered with these people right here? What I tell you in Texas, where I live at, is registered with these people. What if I tell you that if Congress wanted to securitize the dollar, securitize the funding of government projects, guess what? Right here, the U.S. Treasury go right here. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the U.S. Treasury go right here, and guess what? The U.S. Treasury is registered with this with the Security Exchange. Why? It's to securitize the note, to securitize the certificate, the bond. All your prison is registered right here. You won't see it on here, but they are registered. I promise you that. They are registered with this. Every state, every county, every city is registered with this. See, people talk about the Dun Bradstreet. The courtroom got Dun Bradstreet, but I can tell you this: the criminal court, traffic court, divorce court, they got SEC filing. You won't see it, but it's there. I guarantee it's there. State of Texas, it have a SEC a number, a security number. You know what I'm saying? All your loan have security number for that. You know what I'm saying? All your state prison, your local jail, to your federal prison, they all got an SEC security. See, everybody talk about that so-called Dun Bradstreet. Who give a goddamn about Dun Bradstreet? Man, the Dun Bradstreet ain't nothing but a goddamn a rating or a credit rating. No different than a Moody credit rating. No different, no different than a Spirit or some of them trans flow credit rating. That's all they is. It ain't nothing but a credit rating crap. You know what I'm saying? But this is where the powerhouse right here, y'all. This is where your loan, your credit card have what we call a security, a security number registered on file with this right here. Most of the time, this is where your loan is located right here. And sometimes some loans are not registered with the SEC. I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna go right back right here so you can see this real quick. I'm gonna go right back to this right here. Only this is registered with the SEC. All this right here is not registered, but they are securitized. They are no. When you apply for application for a credit or loan, whatever. But they all do have a security. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes this is public and sometimes this is private. This is public and sometimes this is private. But guess what? None of them, even on the private side, they cannot escape the IRS tax code. They cannot escape the pool and service agreement. They cannot escape the pool and service agreement and they cannot escape the tax. So why? Every state got security. Remember this, y'all. I'm gonna say right here. Why is the Federal Reserve Bank is in New York? The Federal Reserve Bank of New York is the most powerful thing. They securitize your $1 bill. They securitize your $5 bill. They securitize your $10 bill that you got in your pocket. They securitize the 20 and the 50 and the 100. Remember that. When Congress passed a bill and said they're gonna fund this project, fund this, and fund the war and all that stuff, fund the election, all that being securitized by what? The Federal Reserve Bank. All your court case is, is securitized by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve of Dallas, the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, Kansas, Chicago, Boston, Philly, I think Minneapolis, I believe. I believe Minneapolis, I think, where the Federal Reserve at. Those are backup. Those are backup in case the Federal Reserve of New York ever have a problem or ever get blow up or go out of the water. Those are backup security organizations. Remember that. Your Congress and your state government, your city government, they all do business with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Everybody else, don't worry about the mother Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. Don't worry about Kansas, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Federal Reserve. Don't worry about all these Federal Reserve. The number one Federal Reserve in this land is the New York. Trust me, your U.S. Treasury get all their documents and all their funding securitized by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. All your court case, all your government projects, all your government lending, loan, payment, repayment back, they all securitized by the what? New York Federal Reserve Bank. And what is and remember this. Every state got what we call right here. I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna show y'all something right here. See this right here again? Now I'm gonna show you something right here. Here you go, general, right here. General, yeah, here we go. I'm gonna make sure I get this right. General obligation bond. See right here? Every state, see right here? Every state, every county, every city has this. You don't pay the government salary. I'm gonna make sure everybody understands it. You don't pay the government salary. I'm gonna say this right here. You do not pay the government salary. The general obligation bond paid the government salary from the governor to the legislature to all elected officials and non-elected officials. That's who paid his salary. The fine, all that stuff, that go into their retirement, the coffers, and the fine you pay, anything you pay, that go into their retirement, their slush fund. You know what I'm saying? That go in their slush fund. So I want everybody to look at this. The general obligation bond is a type of municipal bond that back the entire by the issuer of creditworthy ability to levy tax on its resident. Nowhere, it's a security certificate bond. That's what it is. You don't want to call that, but it might call municipal bond, state bond, but it's really a security certificate bond. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really is. You know what I'm saying? But I want everybody to look that up. I ain't gonna go, like I said, I ain't gonna try to do no long video, but I'm gonna do a long video on each one of them putting on a video. You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody to look at this real quick. Look at this and go back to this right here. Now, I'm going to say right here, if you got a foreclosure problem, you about to lose your house, hit me up. We can stop that foreclosure. If you already lost your house, we could go back and recoup the money that you paid. And plus, you get penalty interest behind that. Make them pay double. If your car got repossessed or your car about to be repossessed, hit me up. I got the affidavit, and I'm going to tell you how you're going to do it. Because remember this. Remember this. Remember this. I'm going to say it right here. They cannot give you a loan without that county clerk recorded office. Again, all my video is going to deal with the county clerk recorded office where you live at. Remember this. You cannot have no type of loan, no type of credit line, no receivable account, no merchant account that give it to you without that county clerk recorded office. Remember that here. Remember that. The county clerk recorded office is the most powerful thing. You look at all my videos, I always stress that to you. That county clerk recorded office is the most powerful office, man. You cannot have pooling service agreement without that county clerk recorded office. You cannot make no payment to these people without that county clerk recorded office. You cannot have depository security agreement for these mega projects that worth over $1 million to $1 billion to $1 zillion without that county clerk recorded office. Now, I hope that I get this in your head. I want to get this in your head again. Like I said, if your house already been foreclosed, guess what? You could go back. You could go back All thing I'm asking for y'all, what day did you sign the contract? What day did you sign the investment? I like to call it. What day did you sign the investment instrument? aka the loan application, whatever you want to call it, loan mortgage application, whatever, student loan application, whatever you want to call it, machinery application, truck application, semi application, trailer application for your trailer, get a flatbed trailer, get a reefer trailer. I don't care what it is. You could go back on that. If you got repossessed or about to be repossessed, credit card, or they're gonna take you to court because you owe $10,000 credit card. You know what I'm saying? You could stop that and make them pay. Come out there. What they're saying that you default on tax. You never pay. In other words, they never pay the tax. So now they tax billing you. What you don't understand, they tax billing you out of what? Title 26, 80, 60 G. Also out of Title 26, A 56 and A 57. I know the law. I know the law. I know how to do it. Again, do not throw your contract when you sign with these people. Number, do not throw your investment instrument contract that you sign. Don't ever say that you ain't signed no contract or it's a fraud. The law's a fraud. No, don't say that. I'm gonna tell you why. Don't say that. You a third party to that contractor, cause it was your proceed that created that trust. That's right. You created that mortgage. You paid. You know what I'm saying. You created that car loan. You created everything. That's why I said that social security is not a bad thing if you know what to do with it. That birth certificate is not a bad thing if you know how to use it. Again, I'm gonna show y'all something right here. I want everybody to remember that. I want y'all to look this up. I want you to understand. Because once you see this, you're gonna understand. You're gonna understand this right here. That's why I put this right here so you can look this up. Cause what we're gonna do, go one by one on each one of these things later on. Cause right now it's like nighttime right now, so I don't want to stay too long in this video. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to see if we can get something before we get to the video, the good stuff. Again, like I said, if your house been foreclosed already, and you live in an apartment, or you're on the street, or you know somebody, hit me up. Or you're about to lose your house against the bank or against the lender, hit me up. I know how to stop that. If you got a car about to be repossessed, or you're behind on your car note, whatever, hit me up. I know how to do that. Student loan, same thing. Hit me up. Payday loan, say like you bought 500 and they want $2,000 and you cannot pay them every week, something like that. Hit me up. We can stop that too. Payday loan, $2,000 loan that you sign and you cannot afford to pay. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you know what I'm saying? You ain't making the money. Hey, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. You got a court case? Same thing. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. I know how to do this thing, man. I know how to do this. What else? The credit card, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Hit me up. We can stop this, you know what I'm saying? But what I don't want you to do is say that this is a fraud or I'm going to rescind the contract. Do not rescind the contract. Do not rescind. Let them know that you are a default. I'm not. You defaulted on the contract, not me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to show you something right here. What we're going to do is play the video real quick. I'm going to see what time it is, right? I'm going to see how many minutes I've been playing. Oh, shit. Damn, 30 minutes. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm going to play the video.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to go over is because we didn't go over this last week. We went over the order, but not the affidavit. This is very revealing of what's going on with these mortgages.
That's right.
In order for the mortgage to be he talks about this, and this guy is an attorney, this Thomas J. Adams. And he's testifying as an expert witness on behalf of LaSalle Bank National.
Let me go get my copy. I'll be right back.
evidence and what's going on with this case, because this case is going to affect all the mortgages in this country. Because none of these lenders or trust companies are transferring the assets to the trust fund to qualify as a REMIC or a real estate investment trust. So that means that the loan is in default at closing and the loan is unsecured. And he says that in this affidavit. This guy is testifying as an expert witness on behalf of the LaSalle National Bank. And this case was decided March 30th, 2011 of this year. And he's telling you in the order that the Phyllis Horace, who's the plaintiff, is the borrower in this case. And she's a third-party beneficiary because it was her proceeds from the note that funded the pooling and servicing agreement, part of the funds. So she has a preemptory claim. Beneficiary means that she has a title and ownership interest in the proceeds that are in this trust fund. And LaSalle Bank National Association is the trustee for the certificate holders of Bear Stearns Asset-Backed Securities 1 LLC. Well, none of these asset-backed securities are backed by anything. When I say they're not backed, I mean they're not secured by the mortgage loan, which is the deed of trust, because it was never transferred to the trust, which is the asset-backed securities trust. Neither the deed of trust or the note were transferred at closing to this trust. So the loan is, for all intents and purposes, is unsecured. It's not only unsecured, it's in default. The loan was in default at closing. That's why they're foreclosing on all these people, because they want to collect the tax. They're billing you for the tax. Because they never transferred the assets to the trust, they don't qualify as a real estate investment trust. So they don't get the tax exclusion that's provided for in Section 856 of Title 26. And we went over that last week. In order to qualify as a real estate investment trust, they have to transfer the funds at closing. And also they have to, under Title 15, Section 1641, when they amended Public Law 111-203, which is 15 U.S.C. 1640, which says that you have a claim and a defense in recoupment and set-off. But when they amended that in July 21st, 2010, they also amended Section 1641 of the Truth in Lending, which is Section 129 and 130. And what they did is, if there's a transfer done, they have to notify you within 30 days. The new owner does. He has to notify you in writing that he's the new signee and the owner of the loan documents. But they never do this. That's because they never transferred the funds in the first place. So if they didn't transfer the funds, the loan is in default and the loan is unsecured. If it's unsecured, that means there is no mortgage. Because the deed of trust is the mortgage and the note is the obligation attached to the mortgage. So if the trust fund has neither the mortgage or the obligation
up, James.
attached
Check
to the
your connection. You're breaking up.
Okay. How am I now?
That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. You were breaking up. So that's what, when they have these real estate investment trusts, on
They
the
call them
90%,
REMICs.
when they fail to qualify, the trust dissolves itself on the 91st day.
Yes, and it dissolves itself because there's no corpus inside the trust to sustain the trust. The trust
Correct.
Collapses.
Right.
So they don't have any legal authority to be foreclosing on anybody.
You're still breaking up, Gene.
Let me pull these. Let me replug this back in.
We have a thing on the board that says you have an echo. I'm not hearing any echo on my side.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're coming in loud and clear.
Okay, so what they're let me show you what I'm going to put. Well, let me finish this affidavit, then I'll show you the code sections that apply to.
Do you want me to start reading?
Yeah, read this affidavit.
Okay. Let me briefly summarize my expertise and experience for the court. I began my career as an associate at Thatcher, Prophet & Wood in New York City, working on mortgage securitizations in 1989. In this position, I was one of the lawyers who worked on the very first vintage of pooling and servicing agreements, which dealt with the 1986 amendments to the IRS tax code, creating the REMIC structures. REMIC, Real Estate Mortgage Investment Corporation, right, Gene?
Which paragraph are you reading?
Which paragraph are you reading?
Page 2, top line. REMIC. What does REMIC stand for?
Real Estate Mortgage Investment Conduit. That's a
Conduit.
real estate investment.
Real estate. Okay.
That's
real
what
estate,
a real estate investment
mortgage
trust is.
investment conduit, which is the trust. My career progressed from Thatcher Prophet. Go ahead.
There's 5 different types of real estate investment trust. There's REMICs, FASTs or Financial Asset Security Investment Trust. There's hybrid, what they call hybrid REITs. REITs is R-E-I-T, means Real Estate Investment Trust. You have an SPV. An SPV is a special purpose vehicle. A special purpose vehicle is a trust fund. They're called special purpose vehicles, and most of them are registered in Delaware as corporations, as a trust. An SPE is a special purpose entity. That's a company or a corporation. It can either be a company or a corporation. Then you have a BRE, which is a bankruptcy remote entity. Bankruptcy
what?
remote
bankruptcy.
entity.
You broke up. Wait, bankruptcy.
They're called BREs, bankruptcy remote entities.
Bankrupt remote entities. Okay, go ahead.
What they use them for is they use them to protect third-party debtors.
Okay. All right, now I'll continue. My career progressed from Thatcher, Prophet & Wood through a series of industry positions which all dealt with various aspects of mortgage loan securitization as set out in my curriculum vitae. I am familiar with the industry standards, customs, practices, and legal requirements of mortgage loan securitizations. I am also familiar with the law governing the creation, powers, authorities, and limitations of the securitization trust and their counterparties, including the trustees and servicers for the securitization trust. I have been retained by the plaintiff in this matter to review the documents presented to the court and to opine as to whether the trust in this action is in fact the owner of the promissory note, secured by a mortgage upon which the plaintiff has foreclosed and claimed ownership. In formulating my opinion, I have reviewed the collateral file produced by the defendants and the securitization documents, including the trust agreement for the trust. The trust agreement which created the trust, that is the defendant in this action, is called a pooling and servicing agreement and is filed under oath with the Securities and Exchange Commission and is available online through the EDGAR website at sec.gov. The trust agreement for the securitization is filed as Exhibit 4.1 to Form 8-K with the SEC. I understand these documents are part of the court record. I am familiar with the industry standards, customs, and practices which existed at the time of this securitization and continue in force through the date of this affidavit. I have personal knowledge of these standards as a result of my employment, training, education, and experience as sent out in my curriculum vitae. Section 11.03 of the PSA, page 133 of 397, is an election by the parties to the trust that the trust will be governed under the laws of the state of New York. What's a PSA, Gene?
Pooling and servicing agreement.
Okay. This court...
They just abbreviate that.
Well, yeah, but the people...
That's an abbreviation.
The people that are listening will want it defined. Now,
It means pooling and servicing agreement.
Okay, PSA is pooling and servicing agreement. This court would be required to consider the impact of the action of any party to the trust agreement which violated the trust agreement under New York law. The trust agreement, here it is, known as PSA, sets forth how the trust acquires its assets. The trust agreement sets forth both powers and the limits of the powers of the trust. The PSA and the mortgage loan purchase agreement, when read together, require that each party to the side of sale of the mortgage loans endorse each promissory note to the next party in the chain of title until the promissory note is endorsed to the trustee for the benefit of the trust. This requirement is included in Exhibit L of the EMC purchase agreement found in Section 6A. In the PSA, this requirement is found at Section 2.01 on page 56-397. According to the requirements set forth in the trust agreement, I would expect to see a series of endorsements of the promissory note, reflective of each party who had an ownership interest in the promissory note, culminating with a blank endorsement from the depositor at the very minimum. The industry standards, customs, and practices would have been excuse me. Nevertheless, this chain of endorsements is in order to comply with this PSA would have had to complete on or before the closing date of this deal, but in no event more than 90 days from the close date pursuant to Section 2.02A on page 58 of 397. The close date of this deal was February 23rd. Excuse me, to unplug my phone. Excuse me, I'm going to unplug my phone. Apologize. Okay, closing date of this deal was 2006 on page 20 of 397. There's been the absence of these in the promissory note. In reviewing the profile for this, I note there is no evidence of transfer. Any assignments which would have been necessary to transfer the mortgage to the trust would have been required to be made trust clear or there is no evidence of transfer in the parties to the securitized conviction of this trust. It has all ownership. The profile offered by the defendant trust clearly demonstrates that this loan is not just
your voice is breaking up.
Your voice is breaking up.
Now,
Your voice is breaking up.
This is breaking up.
Breaking up.
voice is breaking up.
I heard you, Gene. I'm trying to see if I actually have to plug in my phone here. Would you explain some of that I've just been reading?
Okay, you're on page 3, right?
I'm so upset. I don't know what to do about this phone ringing. Can you hear me clearly now?
I can hear you now, but you were breaking up when you were reading.
Okay, let's
Your voice
go back.
is breaking up.
I'll go back.
You got to tell me which paragraph you're reading so I know where 14. You are. What number?
14. The evidence in the collateral file shows an utter and complete failure of the parties to this securitization to convey this promissory note to this trust. The defendant trust has offered no proof of ownership, and the collateral file offered by the defendant trust clearly demonstrates that this loan was not securitized, nor was it transferred to this trust. The court should also be aware that Section 9.12G set forth further explicit restrictions on the powers of the trustee and prohibits the trustee from taking any action which would jeopardize the REMIC status of the trust. These types of limitations are common and are present in this or a similar form in every pooling and servicing agreement which seeks to create a securitized trust that can claim the tax benefits of REMIC status under the U.S. Tax Code. Paragraph 16. Based upon the information provided to me and the documents that I've reviewed, I can state that the Horace promissory note has never been transferred to the defendant trust as required by the PSA on or before February 29, 2006. 17. Further, any attempt to accept a transfer of the Horace promissory note now would violate the REMIC provisions of the IRS tax code for a number of reasons. First, the loan is in default at this time. Therefore, the loan cannot be qualified mortgage loan under the IRS tax code because a qualified mortgage loan is a performing mortgage loan. Second, an attempted transfer to the trust is now after the closing date and the certificates were issued. In effect, the plaintiff would be claiming to have transferred an asset to a trust that has, by its own terms, been closed for more than 4 years at the time of the alleged transfer took place. Third, the promissory note was not endorsed to the trust by the depositor and is devoid of the required chain of endorsements required in the PSA, and which any reasonable market participant would expect to be present for the purposes of establish the series of true sales set forth in the PSA, to establish the chain of title on the promissory note for the purposes of bankruptcy remoteness. The claim that the Horace note has been transferred to the trust when it is endorsed in blank simply flies in the face of the mandatory terms of the PSA and is an extreme deviation from the industry standards, customs, and practices which prevailed at all time material to this transaction and which prevail today. Based upon my knowledge of the terms of this transaction, as well as my review of the documents presented to the court, as the evidence that this defendant trust owns the promissory note executed by Phyllis Horace is, in my opinion, that this trust does not own this promissory note. My opinion is based upon the evidence and the attorneys for this trust have provided to plaintiff's counsel and my personal knowledge of the requirements that were applicable to this securitization through the terms of the PSA, which is before the court, the industry standards, customs, practices applicable to residential mortgage-backed securities, the pleadings that are before the court, and the contents of the collateral file, which includes the promissory note and the mortgage. I make this affidavit on personal knowledge.
Okay, the reason that this was never transferred is spelled out, and I'm going to pull this up. Is because they don't own the security. See, it's not a note, it's a security. And nobody's bringing that out. That's why it's not being transferred, is because it's a security and they don't own it. That's because it was an investment contract, not a mortgage loan. Everybody's overlooking that fact, that it's not a mortgage loan.
Okay, we have a question on the board while you're getting that. Do credit card apps go into a REMIC too?
Yes. They do the same thing on a credit card that they do on a mortgage loan. There is no difference. It's the same process. They sell the DTC is the is the owner of both sides of the account, and they sell the cash flow claims to the beneficial interest holders, which are they're called beneficiaries, just like you're the beneficiary of the pooling and servicing agreement. All these mortgage payments, you're entitled. That's why they give you a recoupment and set-off. It's because your mortgage payments are funding the pooling and servicing agreement, which is part of the investment contract. You're an investor. You got to quit thinking of yourself as a debtor and a borrower and look at it that you're an investor. Now, what is that? Can you see my screen?
I see it. I'm reading these questions. There was a lot of garbling and a lot of breaking up from you and me, but I think that's taken care of now. So okay. I hope it is. What I was reading, folks, you have a hard copy of that affidavit in your webinars and in your screenshots that were provided this week.
Okay, read what an adverse claim is. This is the reason that they don't own the security. Read that.
Adverse claim means a claim that a claimant has a property interest in a financial asset and that it is a violation of the rights of the claimant for another person to hold, transfer, or deal with the financial asset.
Now, does that explain why they're not transferring these securities to the trust?
Well, that's because they don't own them, and they know they don't own them, and they know that it's a violation if they try to say they do own them.
Yes. So the security is a financial. What is a financial asset?
That's the note security, right?
Okay, read what a financial asset is. This is 8-102, subsection 9. Read that.
Financial asset, a security, an obligation of a person or a share, participation, or other interest in a person or in property or an enterprise of a person which is or is of a type dealt in or traded on financial markets or which is recognized in any area in which it is issued or dealt in as a medium for investment, or any property that is held by a securities intermediary for another person in a securities account if the securities intermediary has expressly agreed with the other person that the property is to be treated as a financial asset under this article. As context requires, the term means either the interest itself or the means by which a person's claim to it is evidenced, including a certificated or uncertificated security, a security certificate, or a security entitlement.
Okay, now read what security entitlement is. This is 8-102, subsection 17.
Okay.
Article 8.
Security entitlement means the rights and property interest of an entitlement holder with respect to a financial asset specified in Part 5.
Okay, so a security is a financial asset, and you have a property interest and a possessionary right, not only in the instrument itself, but in the proceeds. It says that in 3-306.
Okay.
Because the security is a negotiable instrument, it comes under Article 3. But because it's the security, it's governed by Article 8. That's why I'm reading this out of Article 8, so that you'll understand that.
So this is really any kind of a credit application or any kind of a loan application or anything like that. They're all a REMIC?
That's right. They're all real estate. You read that letter that I wrote to that judge. The judge took the case off the calendar, and they dismissed. Both those cases are gone.
Okay.
You can do the same thing. A car loan is identical to a mortgage loan. It doesn't make any difference whether it's an automobile or real property. Doesn't make any difference. They're both handled the same way. They both have a B5 prospectus. A B5 prospectus is a B5 prospectus, whether it's an automobile or a house.
Okay, let me jump in here for just a minute. We have some notes here that some people didn't get those screenshots. It's only the people, I believe that was on the 326 call, that got that package. So email me privately, and we'll get the payment for that and get it right out to you. All right, go ahead, Gene. So that means that every time you go out and use credit for anything, they all have their own PSAs. They all have their requirements that they have to meet, and they all qualify for this REMIC.
Right. I have a court case next week on May 13th. I wish you all could come down there.
I'd love to be down there. Try and find somebody with a movie camera that's a notary that'll come in and tape record everything. Movie record everything.
It's going to be, they're doing the same thing on these court judgments. The courts are securitizing court judgments and selling them to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York City.
So those are all REMICs too?
Yes.
Okay.
They have a security agreement, deposit agreement. This is on the website. I have the documentation on this. I have a copy of the actual deposit agreement. It's done electronically go read. You need to download Circular 7. We can go into this next week.
All right, I'm about to end it right here, y'all. But I have that. I have all that, man. This video, I can remember I signed up, I got it, and I watch it. I'm glad I never did nothing but stop on that day and had that thing about 13 years ago. I was there on that webinar. For some reason, I forgot I had this. And like I said, I have no problem. I have no problem, but I just realized I had this a long time ago. But I never thought, I just got lucky when I found it on my computer. Put it like that. Again, credit card, any type of loan, business loan, personal loan, payday loan, whatever, student loan, jail, whatever. They all loan. They all remit. You know what I'm saying? In other words, when you sign anything and get something back in return, you are an investor. You are a third-party beneficiary. That's why you do not want to rescind that Title 15, rescind whatever that they supposed to be, that you supposed to rescind it. No. What you want to do is say, hey, when I had signed this thing at the 90 days, this loan went into default. It went into default. Unless you can show me that you paid the tax on the loan. Remember this, you were the beneficiary, they the trustee. What happened, they got you paying the tax as a trustee. It's the trustee job to pay the tax. You see what I'm saying? It's not your job as a beneficiary to pay the tax. You see what I'm saying? Whereas everything is taxed. Everything is taxed. Remember that. But I have the affidavit for each type of situation you have. Say like you got a credit card, and they're gonna take you to court. Say like say like American Express or Chase Visa or Wells Fargo Visa might not sell it to a debt collector, but what they'll do get their attorney, right? And they'll get their attorney, get that $30,000 credit card that you defaulted on. Well, guess what? You could do it after there, or you could go to that court and say you're a third party beneficiary. I have the stuff ready for you. I ain't gonna put everything out here because, like I said, I have this video. You won't see this video on YouTube. You won't see this video on YouTube. You won't see it on UTL. You won't see it on Hakeem. You won't see it on that thing I showed you. You won't see it on there. Many people tried to find that video. Lucky I was there that day when I paid for that webinar. I was there when UCL got your boy about the tax. Remember this, in prison, it's 1099 long-term care. It's called 1099 LTC. It stands for long-term care. When you locked up in prison, county jail, state jail, the the prison system, they found 1099. I had to look that up and recheck. Sure enough, they do that. Again, everything is taxed, but I know everything because I went to the webinar, I sat down. But what happened, a lot of people don't have this video. You might have maybe a few hundred have this video that was there on that website. See what I'm saying? I was there. I paid for this. Now, if you want the whole video, remember, I try to put this on YouTube. This video right here, I'm on play 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It go over 2 hours. And guess what? They got the adverse claim. They got everything in there. Show you how to do it. Like I said, I'm not stressed out. To me, if I say I'm gonna stop paying for the car and everything, guess what? I go ahead and do it after that and say, hey man, look, you default right here, my after that. I'll make it so nice and clean and neat that I had that car right off and I'm gonna recoup my money back. See what I'm saying? So I'm a third party beneficiary to my car. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna deny the loan. Yeah, I find it, but guess what? That loan was in default at the 90 days. Cause this is how I know the car was in default. Where student loan or a business loan or personal loan, payday loan. If you tell me I missed a payment, cold word. That's a cold word that hey, the loan is a default. Nowhere. I should not be paying you now. I should not be paying you. If the loan is default, so you telling me the loan is default, so you're billing me for the tax. That's all you're saying. Nowhere, you're gonna repossess my car, you're billing me for the tax. You're gonna foreclose on me, you're billing me for the tax. Or I'm incompetent in the courtroom, or I missed court date, or I found guilty, you're billing me for the tax. That's all that is, y'all. That's all it is. I have the adverse claim. I have the law. I have everything. I have the tax code more than what he put on there, but I have everything that you don't see on that video. You know what I'm saying? I have that video. Now, if you want that video, because you ain't going to get it on YouTube, and trust me, when I try to put it on YouTube, maybe like, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I tried to put it on YouTube with that so-called pro-black and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? YouTube block it. Trust me, YouTube blocked that video. The guy that channel I went to show you, you won't see it on his video. You know what I'm saying? That's a powerful video. All the Gene video, Gene show you many things, but this is the video right here that did the damage. This the video that's gonna write off and recoup. You know what I'm saying? Look, get all your payment that you paid plus interest and penalty. Trust me, they ain't gonna take this to court. They ready to give you the money back that you paid and let you keep the property or keep the car, whatever you have. You know what I'm saying? They'll write that off. They'll put that on record in court. Now, like I said, if you want to stop the foreclosure or stop the repossession or you're behind on payments, something like that, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? All I'm asking you to do, what was the date that you signed the loan application? I don't care if it's a house, student loan, whatever you sign. Merchant receivable, say like the merchant receivable for business, like you pay weekly or you pay daily on a merchant cash, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you sign, what date did you sign, and I'm going to have it ready. You know what I'm saying? All I need is the date that you sign. I just need the loan number. That's it. I could put the affidavit together. I could put the affidavit claim. I could put everything together. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how you're going to file it with the county clerk. Remember this. Before you mail it out, you're going to file with the county clerk office. And I'm going to tell you another thing what you're going to do. You're going to file in the paper on the day that you sign an investment that 90 days went by, the loan may be in default. See what I'm saying? In other words, who made the claim first, win first. Always remember that. Who made the claim first, win first. See what I'm saying? I have many weapons, man. It's like that. I'm not stressed out, man. I have two beautiful cars. If I really want to go ahead and get my car paid off right now, like do it right now. Matter of fact, this is the month I'm go ahead, just go ahead and get my car right off. I'm gonna go ahead and let them know, hey man, this loan in default. I never got a call from y'all. I believe y'all have a trust. This is a trust. This is an investment. Especially Chase. I'm dealing with Chase. See what I'm saying? I got a Chase credit card. I got Capital One credit card. I got car loan. I got everything. You know what I'm saying? I got business loan. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead do this real quick and get everything paid and be free. See what I'm saying? I have the video, but you won't see it on YouTube. I try to put it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I guess they don't want this on YouTube. This right here, they don't want this on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They don't want this on YouTube. For some reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to take my channel off. So I can't make a third channel, a second channel, whatever. So I just keep it with me. You know what I'm saying? The guy, that video I show you on that guy, you ain't going to see on that either because, hey, you know what I'm saying? Even he had that video taken off. You know what I'm saying? But that guy said in that video, like, I think $5,000. He said that video for $5,000. Sure, you know, sure. I wanted to sell for $5,000 too. You know what I'm saying? Look, if he sell a video for $5,000, why not? Sure, I'll sell it to you for $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Sure. But I have that video, man. That video is telling you everything, man. Sure, it's put like that. I got my own style after that. I got my own style of complaint. You know what I'm saying? How you file a complaint to courtroom? Trust me, you can never lose. That's right, man. You can never lose. But I'm gonna go hang it up. But I'm gonna do part two. Right now, this gonna be part one. So I'm gonna hang this up real quick. Because I gotta get ready to go to sleep, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But so right now it's 1 hour and 13 minutes. I want everybody to look at this and look at this, man. This is a good video. I'm gonna come with two here. All right, peace and love.